All right, welcome back to another Mindset Monday with Mike and Mike. Today we got a pretty sweet topic, but before we dive in, how was your weekend, buddy?
Weekend was good. I caught a little bit of a cold because it's getting colder down here in North Carolina, but I'm fighting it, so feeling good.
Nice,
How about you?
nice. It was good. It was super productive. I mean, Kristen had surgery last week, so I've been taking care of her and then taking care of Caden. And then Saturday he had his soccer game, and then we came back, and my dad came up, helped me clean out the entire garage, and then build the new golf simulator, which is sick.
Oh
I
yeah,
sent you that picture last night. It's unreal. It's like
that's awesome.
I can't wait. I just got to take care of a bunch of stuff before I can go play with it later today. But
Yeah,
it's awesome.
that's awesome. And you can play like different games too, right? Like football and soccer and stuff.
Yep, yep. There's all sorts of cool stuff that you can do, and I've got Pebble Beach, St. Andrews, a whole bunch of courses I could play, or just there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
pretty excited for that.
What are
So
your
again,
goals?
like case in point, like if the goal is important to you, like it could be easy for me to be like, well, it's getting cold, golf course is going to close in like a month, I'll pick it back up in the spring. But if my goal is to break 80 next year, well, how do I keep that going? I went all out because I have the financial means to do so. But if I didn't, like, I could have got a net and some hitting mats just to continue working on my swing and like a cheaper launch monitor or whatever. Just again, staying focused, staying dedicated towards the goal. So, but anyway, Mike, what do we got on tap today for Mindset Monday?
Um, Mindset Monday is going to be talking about our top three planners that we've used. Um, One, what we use them for, how we use them, and why it's important too. So, I, you know, I never really used a planner until the last like 2 years to plan on my day. Like usually I would just write out like all my to-do list tasks, and that was really it. But the planner I have now has really changed the way I plan out every day. Like I used to dread Mondays, and now Mondays, like Monday mornings, is focused on setting up my week and my intentions for the week, what I'm grateful for the week, and for the day, and it's really been a game changer for me. So I know it's the same thing for you because you're the one who told me to get this one. So um, what
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah. I mean, why don't we talk about what the purpose of a planner is, and then we can talk about why we like, certain planners. So like the majority of people don't do anything. They don't write out anything. And then some people will do like to-do lists, like you were talking about, which is okay. But for me, I find when I just start writing out a giant to-do list, it's more overwhelming than anything. And I get tense and I'm like, man, I have so much crap to do. And then if you actually took a step back and looked at that to-do list, how many things on that to-do list are actually moving you towards your goals? Right? You're always going to have stuff to do. That's a given. Okay. So what I like to use different planners for is, and I learned this from my mentor, Rock Thomas, years ago, is he calls it his Sunday system for success. So every Sunday afternoon, I'll take some time, I'll review all my goals, my annual ones and for the quarter. And then I'll look at everything I have to do. I'll just write out on a blank piece of paper, like everything that I have to do. So you can make that to do list. But I review my goals and it's like, what's one or two things that I could do this week to move the needle towards those goals? And then I'll go on my calendar on Google and I'll schedule all of those items into my calendar. And I have different color codes that I use. So there's not a lot of white space on my calendar whatsoever. Okay. So that's the first key thing, is to get really disciplined with your time. And if you're thinking to yourself, yeah, but I have a job and they control my time. Yes and no. But there's also other hours in the day that you can still control that time. Okay. So even if it's your lunch hour, you could block in on your lunch hour. Oh, I'm going to analyze some deals. I'm going to analyze 5 deals on my lunch break or whatever. Right. So get really disciplined with your time. And then I like to schedule it inside of like my actual calendar. So like it's blocked. And then I use Calendly. So if people actually want to have a call with me, it's on my time, not on their time. Right. So, but the other things that I really like for a planner, the one that, and again, Mike will talk about one that I have used in the past, and then I'll talk about this one, and then I'll give you one other recommendation. So the one that I like is Brendon Bouchard's high performance planner. I've got one right here. You can see I've got it all filled out. They have I think it goes in like 3-month increments. But he has these assessments that you fill out on different categories. Like he calls it like his whole life assessment. And you'll see some parallels with the one that Mike is going to talk about in a minute, right? But you score yourself on your health, how you're doing mentally and emotionally, how's your, intimate relationships, how's your family, your friends, your mission, your experiences, your spirit, your finances, your learning. And then he has other different categories around, did I seek clarity? I was intentional in how I acted today, right? And you score yourself 1 to 5. And there's a whole bunch of questions in here, seeking clarity, generating energy, raising necessity, increasing productivity, developing influence, demonstrating courage, all good stuff to just assess yourself. And then on the daily section, today's message to myself. So it's like, what do I want to set my intention for the day? So like, example here was to focus and execute on certain tasks. And then I had a little note here to myself. It's all about how you make people feel, which is very true. And then he has some morning mindset questions. One thing I can get excited about today is if one word could describe the kind of person I want to be today, then that word is, and why I chose it, someone who needs me on my A game today. A situation that might stress me out or trip me up could be, and the way that my best self would deal with that is, right? So it's priming yourself in the morning to think through like your intentions for the day. And then he's got your top 3 goals and priorities for the day. And then it has, a middle section here that you could actually write in your calendar and use it for time blocking that way, which you can do, or you could just use the Google Calendar or whatever calendar system you have. So it's got the top 3 goals or priorities. Then it has tasks that I absolutely have to get done today. Right. So I usually put like 2 to 3 of those that have to be done today. Persons that I need to lead or connect with today and how to do it well. So who do I need to lead or connect with and how do I do that as best as possible? And then it has a little evening journal that asks you some questions and then you give yourself a score. Now, if you've never done a journal, you're like, man, that sounds like a lot of work. I promise you, if you do this though, yes, you're going to become way more productive, but you're just going to have way more peace of mind and you're going to move towards your goals way more efficiently. You're just going to be so much more intentional with your time and how you're using it. And then it has, monthly check-ins, quarterly ones, all sorts of good stuff in here. But I personally really like this one. I like the questions that he has in here. It gives you some things to focus on and take a step back and reevaluate, like, what am I spending my time doing? Right. So that again is Brendon Bouchard's high performance planner. And we'll get you guys some links for all this stuff too. But Mike, why don't you talk about the one that you've used that I have also used in the past?
Yeah, sure. So this is the one that you actually gave me at the beginning of this year. It's called the Epic Life Planner. It's by Rock Thomas. I really like this one, and I'm not going to go into all the details because there's a lot of parallels, right? There's lots of different areas in our life that we want to excel in. So what do we need to do? We need to be intentional in those different areas. We need to score them on how we feel we're doing in those areas, and then where we need to improve, and then kind of back into those daily tasks. But what I was doing prior to this, and I thought it was a good move. I thought it was very successful. It kind of got me to the point where I was just writing out a daily to-do list of all these different tasks. And there were personal tasks, there were work tasks on there. There were like simple tasks like break a sweat for 15 minutes. Like, it was good. And I could, check off a bunch of boxes. I could knock some stuff out. I could feel good about my day. But what I found was, one, I wasn't very clear on what my top priorities were. I just had a bunch of tasks. I had a bunch of to-do lists. And so I would knock out some stuff and I wasn't really going towards those top priority goals. So this planner helped me get very in tune and in touch with what my top priorities were. So instead of just knocking out with tasks, what other people needed me to do or what I thought I needed to do, I could just reconnect with my bigger 3 goals for each year, each quarter, and each day, and knock out the tasks under that. So that was the main reason that this planner has really taken me to the next level. But also one thing that my wife told me this past weekend, she was listening to a podcast. She said, it is impossible for your brain to have anxiety and gratitude at the same time. And I thought that was really cool. You can't be anxious and be grateful at the same time. And at the top of this planner, Rock Thomas's planner, Rich Life Planner, is today I'm grateful for. And then you get to fill out whatever you're grateful for. And starting out your day with something that you're grateful for, like most people start out their day with anxiety. You know, it's, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm writing out a to-do list that's, 30 things long. That creates some anxiety. So it's starting out with what I'm grateful for and what I'm excited for the day. Those are the first 2 things I have to write every single day. And it just kicks off the day very, very well. And so it puts me in the right mindset. Then after that, today's top 3 priorities. And for the last 6 months, I have been writing out my top 3 goals. Like I write out the same thing every single day. And then under that is work tasks, personal tasks. And it's similar. It's a to-do list or task list. And I can check them off, but I'm very intentional because I'm starting with what I'm grateful for, what I'm excited for, what are my top priorities, and then everything that falls underneath there. And then at the end of the day, in the bottom right, what is my big win for the day and what did I learn today? So it's kind of, it's not exactly a scorecard like yours was, but it is being intentional about the day. And so that's the daily planner, but as most good planners have, they've got the annual, they've got the quarterly, and then the weekly where you plan out your weeks, what's a priority for that week, and then going into daily. So,
Why don't you, real quick, touch on, because one thing that Brendon's does not have that I like that Rox has is the one sheet. So you want to just talk about like what that one sheet is, just for people to have context?
Yep. Right at the beginning.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they don't track a lot of these things, like your net worth, right? If you're not tracking your net worth and you say that you want to be a millionaire or multimillionaire, well, you got to start tracking, like, where are you at right now? Like, you got to pay attention to this.
Yep. So let's see if you guys can see that. This is the one you're talking about, right? That one.
Yeah, they call it the life plan now. We used to call it the one sheet, but yep.
So there's 8 different gardens that Rock talks about. It's the health and wellness, your spirituality and contribution, business and career, personal growth, lifestyle and adventure, friends and family, financial investment, and environment and tribe. And you're supposed to have 2 goals for each quarter. But before that, you have to track your financials. So you got your net worth, your horizontal income, your vertical income, your gross income, your expenses, your taxes. And this stuff takes a while to figure out, right? But it's very intentional about, all right, this is where I'm at to date, and this is what my yearly goal is. And then it's got the same thing for your health too. Like, this is how tall I am, this is my weight, this is my body fat percentage, and this is my goal, or this is my blood pressure, And then also, it's got a few other things on here, like relationships, 7 traits of success. I didn't fill this out because I had one already done that was filled out, but it's just a good check-in to each quarter. Like, where am I at now financially? Where am I with my friends and family? Where am I at with my body? And then where do I want to go for each garden?
And it's pretty easy, like, especially on like the financial side. Like, I just use Mint. Like, yes, it takes a little time to set it up, but once it's set up, it's like, I have it on my phone. Like, I check my net worth at least once a week. Like, I'm paying attention to my numbers. Like, the more focus you give it, the more you're going to pay attention to certain things. And then it's funny because I was just cleaning out the garage and I found this it's just this little hand thing that you use and it gives you your body fat percentage. So like I bought this specifically to update my one sheet. It's like, I don't know, 20, 30 bucks, maybe 50 bucks. I don't know. I bought it years ago, but like it's pretty accurate. Like my trainer used to use this thing. And so, you know, you just find different ways to make this stuff easier for you and to just keep it updated. And it's like, am I moving towards those goals? Am I living the lifestyle that I say that I want to live? It's easily measurable. So
yeah, absolutely. What's the third one you were talking about?
Yeah, my buddy Matty A, he's got a really good one. It's called the Rich Life Planner. You can go to I think it's called richlifeplanner.com. Matty, he was on the podcast early on, one of the first 10 episodes. Really, really successful guy, amazing guy, great husband and father, crushing it with real estate. And he created his own planner. And again, it has a lot of these similar things inside of it that will help you set your goals. It'll help you plan your weeks, your quarters, your days, like everything to just keep you moving towards what your goals are. Right. The big thing is to figure out a system that works for you. Try one of these, follow it every day for the next, 30, 60, 90 days. If you want to make some tweaks, okay, fine. Try a different one, but you want to stay consistent with this. It's not just going to magically happen. You have to use it and put the time in to use these tools. And so, whichever one you want to do, that's totally fine. And I think, Mike, we have a resource, or we're going to get a link to a resource. And if they just text us, we'll get it over to them.
Yep. Yeah. They just text resources. Let me get the number here. I know Jam's always got it. I just need to write it down.
I actually have it right here. I wrote it on an envelope to keep on my desk because people keep asking me for it. So I just have it on my desk now. So text resources to 978-242-0001. And we'll get that over to you guys. Again, it's 978-242-0001. And we'll give you guys a little PDF that we put together with these 3 different planners on there. And I think it also has a bunch of different book recommendations and all sorts of good stuff. So,
yep. And lastly, we talked about accountability last week. So if you guys want, text us a picture of your journal every single day. We'll hold you accountable to it. I know there's a few people who did text us last week that have missed a couple days. So let's keep up and we'll hold you accountable. So buy one of these planners. I mean, they like 50, 60 bucks maybe, but I
think this one was only like 20 bucks. It's a no-brainer.
Cool. We don't have any topics for next week, but let me check out what we're talking about tomorrow.
One thing, I don't know if we mentioned it in the past, Mike, while you're pulling that up, is you and I are working on like a free course starter pack that we're going to be putting together in the next couple of weeks. I think we got something on the calendar later today or tomorrow to talk about some things. But we're going to have like the deal analyzer, all these different things that we talk about every week on Mindset Monday and Tuesdays with Mike and Mike. They'll all be uploaded into a portal. You guys will have access for free. You just register for it. And once we get that built out, we'll keep you in the loop, but it's going to be completely free, like no strings attached. It's just a way for us to give back and to help consolidate a lot of this stuff. Cause every week we're giving you more content and people are DMing us, which is great, but we want to create like a central portal for you guys so that everything is uploaded in there for you.
Yep. It'll make it super easy. It's the same way that, the Accelerator Mastermind students get access to their content. This is just going to be completely free content. So I'm super excited about it.
Yep. 100%.
And then tomorrow on Tuesdays with Mike and Mike, we're talking about the top markets for STRs. So definitely going to want to check that one out. We've got access to AirDNA, every zip code in the country, but also we've got now it's close to 300 students that have gone through our programs. And there's some markets that are out there that people wouldn't think about that are doing very, very well. So you don't have to be in a Gatlinburg or a Fort Lauderdale or a Austin, Texas, even though they got a lot of regulations now to do really well. So we're going to talk about some of the best markets that are out there and then some of the secret markets that are out there too. So
love it. And one thing too, let us know in the comments, are you using a journal right now? And if you are, which one are you using? I want to hear from you guys. Like I want to help engage with you, give you that feedback, and share the wins. Like if you're using a journal, that's awesome. You're ahead of 95% of the other people on the planet right now that are not using these, right? Like success leaves clues. Okay. I didn't make this stuff up. Mike didn't make this stuff up. It's all been passed down from my mentors that have gotten this from their mentors, from their mentors, from their mentors. And it's like success leaves clues, guys. So just this stuff works. You just got to execute on it. That's it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, cool. All right, buddy. I got to go wrap up some stuff so I can go play with my golf simulator. But I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your day. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern for Tuesdays with Mike and Mike.
Sounds good.
Take care, everybody.